What's up, YT fam? Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. My name is Wupe and welcome to Money Friday with me, the Mindpreneur. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss all the awesome content that is intended for students for personal development. Without further ado, we're going to get into our video today, which is about the money mistakes that students make. But before I get into those mistakes, I'm going to share a personal story in the interest of us getting to know each other as well, so that I can draw those lessons from my own story. First things first, while we're getting to know each other, I'm a dreamer. I am a dreamer who has big, audacious, bold goals in life. I have just always been that person, and it's one of my favorite qualities about myself. So what happened, I think this could have been 2009, 2010, I was at church, and that time a very close family friend to my parents had their nephew living with him, and then they were like, oh, you should know, welcome your friend, you know, he's just moved to Lusaka and what. Wupe is socially awkward. I've made this point before. Networking is one of my greatest weaknesses. Fortunately for me, the thing I found him doing when I went to say what's up was he was reading a book. He was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which ended up costing my family quite a bit of money. So anyway, I go and say, hey, what's up, how are you? I'm good. So he's like, oh, and I'm like, hey, what are you reading? He's like, oh, I'm reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Have you heard of it? I'm like, no. Anyway, he explains what Rich Dad, Poor Dad is about, and I'm just so intrigued because this boy is young, we're teenagers, and he has all these big dreams about investing in real estate. I'm like, this dude's my tribe. Like I have said, I am a dreamer. That's how we sparked a friendship, and it was just great because we exchanged a lot of notes about where he wanted to go, where I wanted to go, what I was thinking, and it was pretty awesome at the time, right? It was really good. So anyway, I was drunk now on Rich Dad Poor Dad. At this point, I had bought the latest book at the time. At this point, I had decided university was a waste of time. I just needed to quit, start a business, move on with my life. Right, wrong. Now, because I was high on Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I think I had just read The Alchemist. I think I had also just read The Alchemist. We just came to seal my university fate because I was like, I need to quit this. This is a waste of time. Like, what am I doing in university? I was so high on those books. I went to my family. And like, I don't come from money. I don't come from a financially rich family, but I do come from wealth in the sense that I was always an affirmed child. I was always deeply loved on. I was always supported. To this day, I am a supported person coming from my family, and that's I can't tell you how great that is. But also, it has cost my family quite a bit of money. So I went to my family and I said, guys, I need to start a business, so I need some money. So anyway, in the spirit of sticking with Rich Dad Poor Dad, rich uncle gave me money. He gave me $400. Hey, I just knew I'm going to prove all these family members wrong. I'm going to become rich and I'm going to quit this gig that you call university, because what is university anyway? Turns out I did. So anyway, that's how I started that. I got that money. My sister at the time had a business, City Market. It was in Shima restaurant. Wupe bought that business, and the reason she sold it is because it wasn't doing well. But me, after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, I felt like I was equipped. Bought the business off her, wake up, bought everything 2 months in advance. I think I bought that business for like $1,500. So it's back in the day in 2010, 2009, I don't know, 2011, I don't know, can't remember now, but it's way back when. Next, poor uncle comes and says, Excellent, I hear you have money. Let's start doing goats. Babupe. Gave my uncle the money. Guys, my uncle said he was going to bring goats from, said Nampundwe? I don't know. Next, I hear he was sourcing goats within Lusaka and selling them at John Bozy because someone had told him and he was buying at a good price. He was not. Okay? Anyway, then he went and said, no, Bupe, I think I should buy pigs. I said, I don't want pigs. Let's just stick with whatever we've decided. If you want to get a pachaniva yama, Bapua yama, disappeared with my money. Long story short, he disappeared. When he came back, he said he was sick and people didn't pay him. How that money went down. Restaurant to call, code my new worker. She was never to answer. I went to City Market to check if she was there. The shop was closed. To this day, I don't know if that woman is dead or alive. If you are seeing this, no hard feelings. It was intended for a lesson. Moving on. So now here I was, the chick who had read all these books. I was wanting to prove her family wrong. I used to dodge my uncle. Then my laptop died. And I had to go back and ask for a laptop because he had a company. So, you know, I assumed he had laptops to spare. So, plus, really, I just assumed that was his favorite niece. So I went back in true sports style and asked for the laptop and he gave it to me. You guys, when I say I was a supported child, I was a supported child. It's just that in a sense, I was a bit of a responsible child. So I could get away with these things, but also I make a good argument when I want something. So anyway, what are the money lessons I think we can draw from there for students specifically? One, putting God first. I don't remember one time praying and saying, Lord, thank you, this money has come. Maybe I was like, oh, thank God I have all this money. Yeah, but not like deliberately praying and saying, Holy Spirit, guide me. Like, I have this money. Where should I invest it? These are my desires. Because the Bible says, you know, many are the plans that man has, but the Lord is the one who has the last say. And also that God knows the desires of our hearts and He's willing to give us these things. But I don't remember once going to pray and say, Lord, guide me. And in all this, I don't understand because my poor uncle, may he so rest in peace, you guys. We were very close. He's one of the people who was very close to me from like the time I was born. Growing up, we're like this. But my uncle used to dupe people. So I don't even know. Maybe it's because I loved him. That's why I trusted. I don't know. May he so rest in peace. But that man duped me in a bad way. He left me scarred. Anyway, that's how we lost that money. But number one lesson, like I have said, the problem is that we do not put God first. This is a Christian platform. That's why that's number one and very, very important because it's foundational. Number two, we just feel like because I don't have a job, therefore I can't gain financial literacy. Look, there's a lot of information now on social media. You have my favorite, Finances is Cheapable, who shares with you her journey on how her finances are growing, how she's investing. She's invested in stocks, she's investing in bonds. And it's not like she started with a lot of money, right? But she's been building. So there's a lot of information that you can get off of the internet. You have Chanosia Kabaye, and these are self-taught people. There's Munyumba. Like, there's a lot of people who can teach you for free if you are not ready to pay for their services. There's so much good information on financial literacy that students can get while they wait to build a financial base. Right? But number three, also just reading to gain knowledge. When I was a student, I'll be honest with you, I don't now you guys Netflix. The way we used to hustle around to try and get series. But there were times, even I was in law school, but I had time to binge series. Like when I'm taking a break from reading, I would binge series, right? Make time to read. It's very, very important. And not just about money. Read about character, read about integrity, because all those are very important components of money. They will affect how you perform in the industry, or if you decide you want to go the business way, how you perform in business, how to build good habits, Atomic Habits, MJ DeMarco, Fast Lane Millionaire, you know. There's so many good books out there that people don't read, and that's the third one, reading. So mistake I think I made was the misapplication of what I had read, right? Or being in a hurry to apply, and the misapplication of it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a great book. It's a wonderful book full of so much knowledge. But what I did not do was contextualize it, right? I'll use one example. In the US, or in the first world, in the West, they have access to finance a little easier than we do here in the third world, right? So in my head, I based all my big plans to become rich on real estate. Even now, we have a reasonable amount of land, but even now I'm hesitant to make huge investments in real estate because I know now, I have knowledge now about the demands that go into it, and I've decided to scale down and start smaller within our means, which is very, very important, because investments should start where you are and with what you can afford. So just putting what you learn in context. Next mistake I think students make with finances is just not trying. It's like you get into university and you assume when you finish and you get your degree, you get a job, that's when you're going to start investing, or that's when you're going to become rich. You know what? Fact is, the job will not make you rich. It is what it is. It's a job. Even the person who has employed you is in the business to make money. So I'm not sure that they would be in a hurry to make you rich. So they may pay you well, but also you live in Zambia, you know how scarce the job market has been. It's not the way it used to be in Kaunda times with our parents, where they just come out of college or university and jobs and houses are waiting for them. Even for us lawyers now, there was a time when I was in university, there was a time where I was guaranteed the moment I finish my university, the law firm that I will be attached to will employ me, they'll give me a car, pay housing, pay my fuel, pay my phone bill. But by the time I was graduating, because guys, I stayed in law school for a century, all those things had changed. There was a scramble for jobs. Even now, there's still a scramble for jobs. So if you're still thinking that, you know, your job is going to make you rich, it's not. So let's just go ahead and debunk that already. It's not going to make you rich. So start small. And it's something, even if I did fail, I'm glad that I made that mistake. Okay, not with my money. Sorry, rich uncle. But also, I was grateful. And also, like I said, my rich uncle, it was a negligible amount for him. But still, I'm just grateful that I made the mistakes when I was younger and it wasn't costing my family. But there was so much to learn about deciding what business you're going to be in. If you're going to invest in something, what are the things to consider, right? If you're going to buy a going concern, if the owner is selling it, are they selling a valuable business or they're getting rid of a liability? All those are important things to think about. So try your hand at small things. I remember students at school used to sell underwear, like there were so many perfumes, like there were so many innovative things, but there are a lot of students who are just buried in their books, who are not even willing to try. And that's a mistake. I think you should try your hand at something. And I get it, it's not everyone who can afford to try their hand at something, or anyone who will just give them $400. But to be honest, I went ahead and tried other businesses. To this day, I sell thrifted scarves. I've said here before, it wasn't $400. My initial capital could have been like 200, 250 kwacha. I've sold hair. I've done Inuka. Which network marketing business have I not done? I even signed up for Table Charm and I've never ordered things. But my point is, there was a lesson to be learned in all of these things. I mean, you've heard of Dr. Jajati's story, Aaron. He talks about how he started buying shares in university. There's some people who are on bursary. You eat everything. How are you eating your seeds? The way you give 10% to church, give 10% to yourself, to your future self. Put some aside. You don't eat everything. Huh? And also, just because I've said all I have said, that the job won't make you rich, it doesn't mean that the job is entirely a bad thing. To be fair, like I have said, like I don't know what I would have done if I didn't finish my university. And you know, there's several times that I wished I had quit law school. But my personality is such that I always felt like it would hang over my shoulder, like I had given up on something. And I have that type of a personality. I'm not one of those people to easily give up, but I feel like I wasted a lot of time in the process, and I think a lot where I would have ended up. But I've also learned to appreciate that the job has brought stability to my life. I like that even if I don't make these YouTube videos, I can fall back on my job, you know, to do things like my nails, my hair, and whatever when I'm not getting from hubby. Yeah, like there's a sense of stability it brings, even though that stability again in itself is an illusion. But you know, it depends on who you are and how committed you are to your dream. The job is not entirely a bad thing. It can be used as a stepping stone, because for instance, if you decide to quit your job now and you're not very committed to it, and you try your hand at business for the next 5 years because you're more bad, and maybe you're depending on like the government to give you a contract, those are things that you don't have control over. So again, it goes back to gain the knowledge you need before you quit. So in that sense, the job is a cushion, because you know, then you can use your salary to invest. Like for me, who does not want to work for the government in certain positions, I can't work for a pension, guys. So I prefer my contract to contract life. And yeah, you can use government bonds as an example, right, to build yourself a pension. If you put 55,000 today, I think in a 3-year bond, I don't know how many millions it will be, I don't know, 5 or whatever, in 10-15 years, I don't know. But my point is, it's not a bad thing. Don't look at a job as a bad thing if you don't have the knowledge to be a business person, because desire is one thing, but resolve to pursue something with knowledge is quite another thing. So I've learned to be humble and appreciate my job while I wait to get to where I want to go. Share in the comments below what you think are some of the mistakes students make and what things they can do better with their money, their mindsets, their time to invest in their future. Anyway, that's my story and that's my take on some of the mistakes that students make with their money. I hope you found this helpful. Until the next one, I have to love and leave you. This has been Wupe, the Mindpreneur. Bye.